Hello everyone, welcome back to Mid-Baby channel. So today we'll talk about pneumothorax. Starting with the definition of tension pneumothorax, in one word, tension pneumothorax is defined as pneumothorax with rapid hemodynamic compromise. So what are the causes of tension pneumothorax? The most common cause is pulmonary laceration or injury, and also intermittent positive pressure ventilation is being given. That means that the most common cause of tension pneumothorax is that there is an injury to the lung, which we call pulmonary laceration, and because of the injury, there is cut in the lung and air is leaking out. So because the air is leaking out, the patient is hypoxic, that is reduced oxygen, and in order to compensate the hypoxic state of the patient, we are providing positive pressure ventilation. So because of this, what is happening is that more air is leaking out due to this positive pressure ventilation. So since the more air is leaking out, it is causing tension pneumothorax. So it is very important note is that in any patient where there is a lung injury, that is the lung injury is suspected, or also any subcutaneous emphysema is present, we need to put a chest tube before the IPPV. So the very important note is that in any patient where lung injury is suspected or there is a subcutaneous emphysema is present, chest tube should be put before the IPPV. So that is the first main most common cause of tension pneumothorax, that is pulmonary laceration or injury, and IPPV is being given. The second most common cause of tension pneumothorax is a tracheobronchial injury, and the third most common cause is open pneumothorax. So what is open pneumothorax? That is the in open pneumothorax, what is it? What it is that there is a sucking wound in the chest wall, and the criteria is that the sucking wound in the chest wall should be more than 2 by third circumference of the trachea, so that air is going inside and air is being trapped inside, and it is not the air which go inside, that much air is not coming out. So what is a clinical feature is that since there is a sucking wound in the chest wall, air will go inside, and what happens is that side of the lung where the sucking wound is present, that part of the lung, that side, that lung will collapse. And because of the collapse of that side lung, what happens is that the opposite side lung will hyperinflate. And once the air because from the sucking wound increases, now what happens is that when there is increased amount of air going inside through the sucking wound, which will cause a deviation of the trachea to the hyperinflated side, lung side. And because of this deviation of trachea, now this opposite side lung cannot hyperinflate, and so the lung will because of to the chest wall. So the and now and also due to the deviation of trachea, there is increased pressure on the heart also. So that clinical feature of sucking wound in chest wall and open pneumothorax causing tension pneumothorax. So due to this clinical features, due to this process of events, we will have the clinical feature for a patient. I would like to take an example that a patient has gone for a morning walk, and someone on the way has stabbed him on the thoracic region. So that's causing a sucking wound, and this will be the series of event taking place in the patient. First of all, they will go inside through the sucking wound, causing the collapse of the lung on that side, afterwards leading the hyperinflation of the opposite lung, and due to more increase in the air inside through the sucking wound, it will cause the deviation of trachea to the opposite side, causing the lung to extend to the chest wall, and also there is increased pressure to the heart. So the clinical features will be, of course, there will be increased respiratory rate because only one lung has been working, the other lung has already collapsed, and there will be decreased cardiac output because the heart is cannot relax and heart has increased pressure, so the cardiac output will decrease, also the stroke volume will decrease. So because so thereby the heart rate will increase, and the systolic blood pressure of the patient will drop, and there is increased jugular venous pressure. So these are the clinical features, and due to increased air on percussion, we'll find hyperresonance, and also there is absent breath sounds. So these clinical features will develop within in minutes. That is why tension pneumothorax is an emergency. And one important point is that tension pneumothorax and cardiac tamponade has similar clinical features. For example, cardiac tamponade condition also will have increased respiratory rate, decreased cardiac output, and increased jugular venous pressure, and also systemic blood pressure decreases. So how to distinguish between tension pneumothorax and cardiac tamponade in an emergency? So the important point which you should remember is that both these conditions, tension pneumo and cardiac tamponade, are clinical diagnosis supported by investigation. So these two conditions should be clinically diagnosed and just supported by the investigations. So what are the investigations? In case of tension pneumothorax, we know while percussion will get an hyperresonant sound, and in auscultation there will be decreased breath sound. But in cardiac tamponade, in auscultation the sounds will be muffled heart sounds. So, and also in EFAST, which is extended fast, there are some signs which has also been asked continuously in exams like stratosphere sign, barcode signs, C-short signs. We'll study this in radiology. So these signs are present in case of tension pneumothorax. So once after all this understanding, once the diagnosis is being made, how to manage these patients of patients with tension pneumothorax, there are two type of management. The first one is emergency management, and then we have the definitive management. In case of emergency management, it is needle thoracocentesis, and it is also a very important question. It has been asked, and also needle thoracocentesis in adults and children are different. That is, in adults now we have a new method or updated version of using the whiteboard needle. That is, whiteboard needle is put in the fifth intercostal space and also in the mid axillary line. This is a potential question. And whereas in children we still follow the old method, that is, whiteboard needle is used in the second intercostal space and the mid clavicular line. So this is done just an emergency management. We do emergency management, that is needle thoracocentesis only because it doing this will give us some extra time to manage it, and the definitive management is tube thoracocentesis. So what is this? Is that we'll insert ICT, which is intercostal tube, in the triangle of safety, and we cover that sucking wound with gauze and tape it on three sides. This we have to know. So this is emergency management, and this is the definitive management. And after this, at last, I would like to say about one word about simple pneumothorax. So tension was that there is hemodynamic compromise, but here there is no hemodynamic compromise. And the management of simple pneumothorax is that we do not need of needle insertion, only directly insert the intercostal tube if indicated. So that is the difference of simple pneumothorax. That's all. Thank you for your attention. Stay tuned to other videos. Please subscribe the channel. Thank you.